Something's not right. Hey guys, what the fuck is up, you guys? My name's eManDan642 and welcome to a new video. This is a ranking of the 7 Star Wars The Clone Wars seasons. I watched this show initially over 4 years ago, around the time when Season 7 started airing. Little did I know Season 7 even existed. When I watched the show, I didn't even know it was getting a 7th season at the time, so it just was a convenience that I watched it right when the final season was airing. I rewatched the show again last year because afterward I watched Rebels, and then now I plan on watching the live action shows. And before I start that, I would just like to say 2 things. All of you people are idiots. The prequels suck ass. Episode 1 and 2 are terrible movies. Episode 3, it's good. It's not that good. The original trilogy is certainly better. You people are just fucking morons. Also, Rebels, Star Wars Rebels is shit. Star Wars Rebels is fucking ass. And you guys are just idiots. Pea brain, no taste having. God. This season is harder to rank than the rest of the seasons because Season 7 is split up into 3 equally long arcs. Now the problem is the arcs vary in quality, so to get the score of the season, I just took the mean of the 3 arcs. The first arc is the Bad Batch arc. Already this arc is one of the worst in the series. I don't like the Bad Batch themselves, and I don't like how this arc only exists to set up the Bad Batch show. I haven't seen the Bad Batch show yet, but I doubt it's any good. There are some okay moments, but still a pretty weak arc. Probably the second worst in the entire series, second only to the next arc, the Martez Sisters arc. This arc is terrible. The sisters are terrible characters, worse than the entire show. I hate to be like, Disney has gone woke, and I'm not saying that, but this arc sucks. I like that we see how the civvies view the Jedi, which is not that positive, but aside from that, this arc is garbage and not worth the time. Getting a complete whiplash of quality comes the best arc in the entire series. The final arc is a masterpiece and concludes the show in the perfect way possible. Best possible conclusions for Ahsoka, Rex, and Maul. The visuals are gorgeous. It looks like a movie and not in the way the Clone Wars movie does. Ahsoka has her best moments in this arc. These few episodes seriously cement her as one of the best characters in the entire series. Overall, the only reason the season is last is because I don't like the first 2 arcs, and that's 2/3 of the season. From the last season to the first. Season 1 is much more straightforward than any other after it. It doesn't take any risks, but it doesn't have much going for it. There are fun moments, but overall pretty plain. The animation is not very good at all. The character designs are rough. Ahsoka is pretty annoying. She does get much better in the later seasons, but she's still really annoying here. I don't really care for the episodic nature of the early seasons. The episodes with Dooku, Grievous, Ventress, and Cad Bane were good, but even then, I'm having trouble remembering much, and I rewatched the show last year. Ever so slightly better than the first. All the problems from Season 1 carry over, but Season 2 has some more interesting episodes. I like the Mandalore arc. Anything to do with Mandalore in the later seasons is better, but this is a nice setup for it. Again, I like the episodes with Cad Bane, Hondo, and even Boba Fett, but aside from that, just another decent season. This is where things start to get a lot better. Half of Season 3 are decent episodes again, which is a problem for every season to be honest, but this season has actual arcs that last multiple episodes and has importance to the overall plot. The first of which being the Night Sisters arc. This arc develops Asajj Ventress a lot. She's a great character and one of the best original characters from the Clone Wars. This arc sets up the Night Sisters themselves, who are a really interesting race of people, and Dathomir is a really interesting planet. And of course, Savage Opress is introduced. He is the most underutilized character in the entire show, and I wish he was around longer. The next arc is the Mortis arc, which isn't that important for the long run, but is a great arc nonetheless. The planet of Mortis is really interesting. The father, son, and daughter characters are extremely interesting. I love the mystical force side of Star Wars, and I love when the show taps into that. The politics and war and stuff are great and all, but the force and magic stuff is cool as shit. The Citadel arc is another good story, nothing super great, but better than anything in the first 2 seasons. This is where the placements get tricky. It's really just comparing which seasons have the best arcs. Season 4 starts off well with the Mon Calamari arc. It's another solid arc that isn't groundbreaking, but I like how it fleshes out the Star Wars universe. The Umbara arc is by far the best thing up to this point. The arc focuses almost entirely on the clones and fleshes out the 501st so much. This arc is where characters like Rex and Fives become amazing characters. Krell is a truly despisable character, but is written so well. His death scene is one of the best in the entire series. The Zagiri arc is also solid. It fleshes out Anakin's character more because Anakin sucks in the prequels and you are all idiots who have no taste. The next arc is a really cool one. It's the arc where Obi-Wan disguises himself as a criminal to foil a plot to kidnap Palpatine. Obi-Wan faking his death and Anakin not knowing, such a cool concept and it works so well. The first couple episodes of Obi-Wan dealing with the other pirates and Anakin being pissed off are so good. The season ends with Savage finding Darth Maul, and Maul has one of the best character entrances ever. Maul's character was a complete blank slate to this point. There were Legends books written, but Star Wars fans are illiterate morons who think the prequels are good. Anyway, the writers had free reign with Maul's characters, and he is written so well in the show. At first, he lost his mind after being forgotten and alienated for an entire decade, now with spider legs, and later gaining his mind and swearing vengeance on Obi-Wan. Maul is a peak Star Wars character, and this final episode of Season 4 is an amazing entrance to him. The last season before the show was cancelled. It's sad that this is the ending that we had for so long, but the season was still very good. The first arc is easily one of the best. The inhibitor chip arc is such a well-told mystery that ties the clones' existence to Order 66 so well. It explains how Order 66 even happened perfectly. It's definitely the darkest the show ever got, with Tup killing a Jedi, Fives being somewhat responsible for Tup's death, and Fives being killed, and especially how futile the events in this arc were. Nobody believes Five, and even if they did, it was far too late in the war to do anything about it. It's pretty depressing and makes Fives' death the saddest in the entire show. The Clovis arc is fine. Clovis is a pretty hateable character, but that's his point. What I like about this arc is that we see the strain in Anakin and Padme's relationship. What I don't like is how little we see and that the two just forgive each other in the end of the arc, when that shouldn't be the case given how their relationship ended up. The final arc in the season is really interesting. It starts off with the Jedi realizing that there's something wrong with the origin of the clones and the man who requested them be made in the first place, Sifo Dyas. I really like how the arc starts as this conspiracy mystery. I love that kind of shit, and to see it done in Star Wars is awesome. What I don't like about this arc is that the entire trajectory of the plot changes into Yoda doing some final Jedi training before the end of the war. The rest of the arc is still great and some of the best material from the entire show, but I'm really disappointed that we didn't see more of the Jedi clone Sifo Dyas conspiracy. It was really hard picking the best season because seasons 4 through 7 all had peak arcs in them, but season 5 just had overall the best selection. Best arc is still the final arc in season 7, but the next best arcs are in season 5. The season starts off strong with an amazing Maul episode, but sadly we had to wait till later for the rest of his story. The Onderon arc is good. Some good back and forth between Jedi and civvies. Saw Gerrera is a cool character, and his appearance in this show is objectively better than in Rebels and Rogue One because it's not Disney. The Youngling arc is decent. I like that we see how the Younglings get their Kyber crystals, and I like Ahsoka time, but there are some stupid moments in the arc. The Droid arc is some of the worst material from the entire show, which is funny that it's in the best season. I know my score and placement for season 7 is low because of the 2 arcs that I don't like, but that season is Disney, so it's okay to place it low. The Droid arc sucks. Whack is a terrible character, and Gascon is another terrible character. I didn't want to see this cringy-ass droid and this racist-ass slug. I don't care. The orange barren-ass planet and Gregor were cool, though. Next, we finally get to the peak material from Clone Wars. The Mandalore arc was awesome. Maul being a crime boss and taking over the planet was fucking awesome. Obi-Wan fighting Maul was awesome. Everything is great. Satine's death was a mostly sad death scene. It's very well done, except for Obi-Wan barely reacting to it. Aside from that, the arc was amazing and some of the best material from the series. The final arc of the season was another peak arc. Ahsoka is framed for bombing the Jedi Temple, and the Jedi are too blind to see that it wasn't her. The season has some of the best Ahsoka moments from the entire show. We get a deeper look into how corrupt the Jedi Council are and the Republic as a whole. The arc makes you feel for Ahsoka so much and stand by her and not going back to the Order. Ahsoka leaving the Order is an incredibly sad scene. You feel so much for her and Anakin, especially knowing what little time they spent together after this arc and how things ended up. It's such an impactful and meaningful moment that makes this one of the best arcs in the show and some of the best material from Star Wars. So that was Clone Wars, the Rebels, Star Wars season ranking. I think at some point, when I finish, catch up to all of the live action Star Wars shows, I'll probably do some ranking of all of those shows and seasons. Problem is like there's always some new shit, you know. I won't do a season ranking for Rebels. I don't care. Rebels sucks. They all suck. All the seasons are shit. But I probably at some point will maybe just talk about like all the Star Wars media like that I've read or watched or played. But at some point, I just want to get around to playing more of the Star Wars games because I've read a lot of the books. I have them like down there. I probably can't see them. Yeah, I can't see them right down there. I've seen all the movies. I'm in the process of watching all the shows. Read some comics. Whatever. But I haven't played many of the games. I've just been too busy playing other games. So I'll get to something at some point. So fuck you.